Hi, I'm Jeff Haynes, editor at Tech Bargains, and today we're bringing you the video review of the MSI FX420 laptop. We've said it before, and we'll say it again. One of the biggest issues for laptops frequently comes down to larger batteries and more horsepower versus portability and design choices. The rise of the ultra-portable class has come closest to bridging this technical divide, and MSI's latest, the FX420, appears to sit squarely between these two extremes. The MSI FX420 that we reviewed was powered by an Intel Core i5-2410M processor running at 2.3 GHz that can be boosted to 2.9 GHz with turbo. It comes with 6 GB of DDR3 RAM and is paired with both Intel HD 3000 graphics and an AMD Radeon HD 6470M graphics card with 1 GB of graphical memory, which helps display content on the laptop's 14-inch LED backlit display with a native resolution of 1366 by 768. Rounding out some of the specs of the FX420 were a 500 GB hard drive, 1.3 megapixel HD camera, multi-touch touchpad, and DVD Super Multi-Drive. Now, while the system's innards are placed within a distinctly plastic frame, the design was well handled by MSI. The outside of the FX420 is smoothly textured, which makes it both pleasing to look at and to touch. The outside of the laptop is completely black, and the silver accents add an elegant feel to the system, which is tied together by the bright blue LEDs on the front of the machine for battery life, Wi-Fi, and other operations. Another feature that stood out to us was the effective use of graphics switching. Thanks to MSI's GPU Boost technology, the system can automatically switch between the integrated graphics and the video card to improve the performance of a program, boost battery life of the system, and keep the laptop running cooler. Those are 3 significant perks for just about any laptop, but we especially liked having the option to manually add programs and tweak the list of applications that would specifically use discrete graphics. Speaking of the battery life of the system, we found that it was good for a system of this size, depending on how we were using the machine. For example, if we were streaming a movie full screen with the brightness maxed out, we'd get around 2.5 hours. On the other hand, if we were just surfing the net at 50% brightness, we could easily pull down 4 hours or more. That's decent for a system of this class. We also like the abundance of ports arrayed on the laptop. The FX420 packed loads of options to connect peripherals, which was a nice surprise. It had 4 USB ports, 2 of which were USB 3.0. Even better was the placement of these USB ports on either side of the machine, giving left and right-handed users the option to plug in their mouse on either side of the system. It also comes with a gigabit Ethernet port for wired connections and an SD card reader. We like the inclusion of both the VGA and HDMI port for external monitors, giving us a secondary option for displaying content. Finally, we were struck by the speakers of the FX420, which MSI branded as coming with premium sound technology. With most laptop speakers, you frequently get a lot of hype about how great the speakers will be. We weren't expecting much, but what we did discover was that the MSI speakers were incredibly loud. They might not be perfect for the audiophile that demands premium sound, but compared to other systems, they definitely pack a punch, especially for laptops in this class. With these positives, the FX420 did come with some negatives, which we found to be primarily in the input categories. For example, we thought that the inclusion of the buttons at the top of the keyboard weren't particularly useful within day-to-day use. The system packs a display mode and battery power scheme button, but it doesn't isolate traditional features like volume controls and display brightness. That forces you to constantly rely upon the function key, which is just annoying. Even worse, the chiclet-style keyboard feels much more cramped than other keyboards from other laptops, virtually rendering the right Enter and Shift keys unusable because of how densely packed the board was. We also weren't thrilled by the multi-touch trackpad, which felt shallow compared to other systems on the market. The pad felt cheap and unresponsive, along with being way too small for a system of its size. Given these issues, along with the fact that the trackpad was extremely difficult to configure, we found ourselves reaching for an external mouse before we turned on the laptop within many of our tests. While the problems we mentioned can be overcome with peripherals, a user shouldn't need to purchase external devices if they buy a laptop, especially one that fits in the ultra-portable class. That kind of defeats the purpose of the system. The MSI FX420 certainly has a lot of power, and its attractive design elements and its pricing definitely caught our eye. Unfortunately, we had a few input problems with the keyboard and trackpad that forced us to reach for external peripherals, limiting its portability. But if you're looking for a system that has a lot of power and storage, you definitely can't go wrong by checking out this machine. For these reasons, we decided to give the MSI FX420 a 4 out of 5. For more reviews on the latest products, as well as coupons and deals on systems like the MSI FX420, be sure to check out techbargains.com.